More from Rolfe's red carpet with Robert Englund. How you doing today, sir?
I'm great. I'm happy to be here. You know, I'm a fanboy myself, and I found out that Patrick Stewart was going to be here, and I've been rediscovering all the great espionage novels by Jean le Carré. And so I saw the original Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy with Alec Guinness from Star Wars on BBC television and PBS. And he's Carla, he's the Russian spy in that. And now I'm just regretting that I didn't go to like one of my great little secret memorabilia stores in LA and get an old photo, you know, of Patrick in that and send my wife over to get his autograph, you know, because I'm such a fan of his.
Nice, I didn't even know he did something. Like the first thing I saw him in was Excalibur.
Yeah, and I love that film too.
Yeah,
you know, and I think you get to see Helen Mirren's boobies in that. I'm not sure, as I remember, and she's like young and hot. Either that, or there's a movie called Oh Lucky Man with Malcolm McDowell where she runs around, I think. But because she was so beautiful and hot. And she still is. But no, Patrick Stewart, I remember Patrick in lots of things when I was a young actor because I trained English style, and so I was very onto the Royal Shakespeare Company and the actors that were involved with that. And Patrick was one person we were all told to watch for, you know, and I would see him in plays in London and stuff.
Awesome. So, I mean, like as a young actor, you know, that was where I first happened upon you.
Well, that was my first genre success, and that was my first. That was my first miniseries. I was in North and South as well, but that was my first miniseries, and that miniseries was a huge event because there were only 3 networks then. I think our ratings were almost as good as Roots. We rivaled Roots, which is an exceptional statistic. Don't tell LeVar, but it's true. And so that was really my first taste of celebrity. It was the first time people put my name to my face. Up until then, I was always, people would walk by me in the street and think they went to high school with me, because I'd done like 15 movies by that time, and I'd done a lot of television guest star work, and I was established in Hollywood, but that was the first time the audience put the name to my face, which was really a great thing. And then almost halfway through the mini-series, or at the end of the mini-series between the regular series, I had a hiatus, but I was obligated to do more V on TV as a series. And that's when I did this little tiny movie called Nightmare on Elm Street, because it was the only thing that fit in my schedule. And the dovetailing of science fiction and horror, and the science fiction horror fantasy fan base, I got my first big taste of how powerful that fan base was, and you know, I've just sort of been busy ever since.
Well, I mean, and that role, like, it was huge to a lot of us out there. Like, I still have nightmares.
Oh, well, you know, it's strange. I think I'd love to take credit, you know, for the sort of phenomenon that the Nightmare on Elm Street films became. I mean, there's 8 of them in a TV series, and now the remake, but you know, I think it goes back to the very simplest thing, and you wonder why no one else ever really exploited this before. But someone that can manipulate your fears and understand them, because he can infiltrate your dreams and manipulate you and use things that scare you and exaggerate them. And it's such a private, sacred place, and to have that violated is really primally scary.
Like when the telephone has the tongue come out.
Oh yes, the French kissing phone. Of course, now that phone is such an antique. You know, now it should be a cell phone that wraps around you and crawls into your mouth, I guess.
And that was the thing with the movies. Like as they progressed, like their deaths kind of reflected, you know, the times and what was kind of people's fears at that moment.
Well, not only that, but Freddy would take the vernacular of the teenagers. And the teenagers were the heroes, and more specifically, the girl teenagers, the women, were the warriors that against Freddy. There was, you know, and Freddy, you know, for all of the criticism, and we had a lot of criticism up here in Canada, you know, with some of the toys, because they were merchandised too young, because New Line Cinema didn't quite know how to do that then with this huge success that they had. But I always would tell the critics back then that the women vanquish Freddy. The women win. There's always a survivor girl. and there's kind of a feminist thing about that, you know, a very strong woman, heroine. And I'm really proud of that the films had that, even though they're dark and they stray over the line into slasher-esque sometimes. I mean, that word's kind of unfortunate. It was banned from the set when we did them because Wes hated that word. But, you know, Freddy has the claw, and if I even pick my nose, I think the only verb that can be used is he slashed his boogers. I don't know, you know.
Well, speaking of which, some TV roles, going back to that, I saw you on some Criminal Minds as a detective.
I just finished that. I literally did that a month ago. I'm still wet from that. I've been doing a lot of TV lately. I just did Hawaii Five-0, which is fun because you get to go to Hawaii, and Supernatural up here, which was great. And my wife has such a crush on those boys, you know. So she's had a crush on one of them since Gilmore Girls, you know. And I've been pretty big. And I just did, I did a Chuck, which was a lot of fun, you know, with Linda Hamilton, you know, from Terminator.
You turned the bed over.
Sarah, Sarah, and that was great. And she even manhandled me. I got manhandled by Linda Hamilton. And so I've been doing a lot of television guest stars lately because I'm developing a couple of projects. I'm at work with a kind of secret reality show that we're developing, and also a feature film that we sort of let go viral about 1.5 years ago just to test the waters with it, called Fear Clinic. And now we have a great feature script, and we have a lot of interest with backers now in the UK, and I'm really hoping we get that up on its feet this summer. And then I just did a movie over in London called Strippers versus Werewolves. and people know I've done zombie strippers, so. But this one is much more Shaun of the Dead, and I get to work with my old pal Sarah Douglas, who was with me in V, and you know, she's one of the aliens in Superman, and she's a great cult film out that's really nasty called Lair of the White Worm. If you up late, you know, that's worth checking out, a Ken Russell film. But yes, Sarah's great, and she sort of plays the madam, and she has a secret about the werewolves. But they run in packs, and it's very kind of spoofy Guy Ritchie meets Shaun of the Dead. And I'm sort of the American werewolf in jail in London, alpha male, you know. So check it out. It's coming soon.
Someone said you had a broad acting range. They meant it.
Well, you know, it's fun. You know, I was an independent film actor all through the 70s. And I got to, you know, I mean, I worked with James Earl Jones, and, you know, I got to work with Darth Vader. I starred with Susan Sarandon, and, you know, and I touched old Hollywood a little bit. I worked with Lillian Gish from the silent movies in a TV movie with the great Jack Warden, and then I starred in a movie with Henry Fonda, and you know, I killed Charles Bronson and Burt Reynolds, and I was all part of that 70s time and worked with these terrific actors, Sally Field, many actors, and I played best friends a lot. And so but I was the kind of anonymous utility character actor. And then I did V, and then I did Freddy, and it's kind of fun because you get so much feedback, and I love coming to the cons for 2 reasons. I love to see the international memorabilia of mine that I don't see before, like a poster from Indonesia or a Russian poster or just a great Canadian, you know, opening day premiere book that I've never seen before from Toronto or somewhere. I love seeing that stuff. And then I also love to just like, I'll be able to ask fans, hey, did you like me on Hawaii Five-0? Did you like me on Criminal Minds? How did you like Supernatural? Because I get that feedback, because I always have stuff out there, and I haven't, you know, asked how people like it. I mean, I know they like Freddy, you know, but the new stuff, it's kind of fun to get that feedback and also see stills and things that I've never seen before that people get on that kind of stuff too. I saw some great stills of me hanging out with Priscilla Presley on a film called Ford Fairlane at the last show I did, and I saw a great tie poster of me swallowing Patricia Arquette. You know, as a sort of Freddy snake, and it was really lurid, and you know, to see your name written in the Thai language was really kind of interesting, you know.
You should clip those out and get like a big poster of it.
Well, I do. I have an old converted garage that I use for, it's kind of nice, you know, that I use for when company comes down where I live. And I just put that one over the bed with a, you know, it's kind of Asian style, and I put a bamboo frame on it, you know, and made it, because it is Indonesia, you know, it is Southeast Asia, so.
Well, if you like that and you want to see more of it, he will be at the convention. You can come on down.
Yeah, I brought some books. So if you know, they're really limited. So I've got my autobiography, but also please bring some cool memorabilia for me to see. I love seeing it and meeting the fans. And tell me if you still like me after Hawaii 5-0.
We love you. Thanks so much, Robert.
Okay,
nice to meet you, man.